And right, let me just see how many of you are here. Can I just so hello from Malaysia. To be exact, in Malacca, slightly south on the west peninsula of Malaysia. I hope that you can hear me. Can I just get some response if you guys feel better to okay, feel better to respond me via the chat. I'm looking at the chat now. Can you just say 1 to 5? 5, you can hear me very clearly. 1, you can't hear me that well. Can I just have some feedback on the chat? So thank you, Zakia. 5, Aminatul, 5. And then Rumla, April, Natasha, Lista, Fadila. Nice name. Right. Henny, Dewi. Okay. I have been informed, yeah, because now is Friday prayer. I also have Friday prayer break. Can I know what time that you guys must stop and get ready to go to the mosque? You guys can type it up in the now in Malaysia it's 11:11 in the morning. That means at yours it's 10:11 in the morning, right? Or I can just go on until 12:30 Malaysia. That means 11:30. Okay, right. So again, let me share my slide with you. Where is this slide? Can I share slide, Fina? Share screen, okay. Share screen, and I think I will go on this screen. Maybe screen. Industrial, right. Share. Now, if I go to the slide, I will do the slide presentation. Can you see my slide, dear boys and girls?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Great. So, again, from me, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everyone. My name is Angzzas Sari Muhammad Kassim. You can call me Dr. A. And thank you, Ufina, for inviting me to this industrial class, industrial enzyme class. Specifically, I am from the Department of Chemical Engineering Technology under the Faculty of Engineering Technology. And I am, for my affiliation, I am a principal researcher in the Micropolitan Research Center and also a director and co-founder of Pro Nature Living Solutions. This is UTHM a spin-off company that allows me to uh, commercialize my research product. So my research area, I'm sorry, I got this phone call. Let me pick this up. Right, sorry about that. I got to pick up the phone. And my research area is on enzyme technology, microbial delignification of natural fiber into product development, process optimizations, and plant active ingredients extractions. And today, I would like to share with you an overview as well as the insight into pulp and paper industry, specifically for this industrial enzyme application. So I'm hoping that all of you paying your attentions because there will be questions asked. And if you can get the answers right, I will give the what you call that, some hadiah to Ibu Fina to pass it to you. Maybe some books. Yeah, because I do write some books as well. So maybe maybe five of you who throughout the sessions who answer and participate can have the book. Now let us go into what I wanted to share with you in this short hour. Okay, how to click it. All right. I would like to give you a draft. No, I would like to give you an overview. Okay. I wrote this when last night. Yeah, because I think it's good if I give you an overall picture. I think your lecturer has given you the overview as well. So this might just be a what we call that, a revision class, kan? Right. So if this is a revision class, let us go part by part. I always like to all my students, I will say is that in any class that you go, write these four things that you must know or you have to learn. The first thing is why. Why is that topic? Why is that particular subject is of study or interested for you to be studied? So why is the first key thing. And then you should ask yourself, what is the study about? Basically, the definition of it, and then the third point is how do you do or how do you study that particular subject? Last but not least, what more can you get from that particular subject? Okay, so first part here. Why is industrial enzyme important? What are the problems that we have that trigger us to do this enzyme, industrial enzyme application. The first one here, if you look on the red, on the left and on the red part, number one, it is the problem with efficiency and productivity of the process. The key thing here is faster reactions. And usually what we have is that the process that we have in the industry, they are quite slow and we would like to have a faster reaction. And number two is in the industry, we will have a harsh condition like high pH or high acidic, and this will make your equipment broken or tear down over time. So the first problem that we are facing in the industry before we use the enzyme is efficiency and productivity. And the second part is about how enzyme can promote cost saving. This is in terms of when you use enzyme, you will use a milder condition and it will be faster as well. So by having that, you will require lower energy cost because of the milder, you don't have to make it longer, so it can be run in a shorter time. And not just that, you can reduce the amount of raw material that you used uh, because of the efficiency has been increased. And since the raw material is less, you can reduce the waste that you produce from your process. Okay. And then the second part is about a product. The second part is cost saving, and the third part is product quality. What we mean by that is in terms of consistency and purity, enzyme can provide more consistent and high quality uh, to your end product because of their specificity. And we have also observed um, how enzyme improve the sensory quality in food and beverages. When we put enzyme in it, they enhance the flavor, the texture, the nutritional content, right? So the fourth one is the problems with environmental impact and as well as safety. What we mean by this is when you use enzyme, you reduce the need to use chemicals or toxic chemicals, and you reduce the need to use high energy as well as water in an industry. If you use if you do the processes, it will become exothermic. That means release a lot of energy, and we need water to cool down your process, and the water will become hot, and sometimes the water is being treated and go back to the factories. Sometimes it's being released to the nearby stream. So this is also dangerous for the environment. And if we use enzyme, all of this will be reduced down to a better and safer value. So number five, it's about the sustainability of using the enzyme. You know, when you use the enzyme, that means you use renewable resources to produce the enzyme, because we know enzyme are being derived from these natural resources or renewable resources. And hence, you are able to have it throughout the time, and the sustainability point of view of it is look after. Number six, specificity of industry solutions. What we mean by this is that in many industry, for example, food and beverages, textile, biofuels, detergent, they all need a special formulation to work on their product. For example, in juice, when you produce apple juice, pernah minum apple juice tak? Have you drank apple juice before? I can see you. You can ungo if you don't have to uh open up your mic. If you drink if you buy an apple juice, you know this is like water, right? But apple juice, will you drink it when it's clear or when it has all other gunk inside? When it's clear, right? So if we put enzyme, enzyme can make it clearer and make it more appealing to the consumer. That's it. That's the five problems as to why industrial enzymes are needed. Yeah, is important. Now we go to the second part, the blue part here. Ask yourself, what do you know about enzyme? What do you know about enzyme? You can share it on the chat. If I ask you, define enzyme, what will be your answer? Can I look at the chat? I'm not sure if you can see the chat here. Pina, can you read the chat? Can you see the chat? Okay, we have one chat up here.
Yeah, I can see the chat as well.
Right. So Romla says biocatalysator. Biocatalyst. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I am translating that. Can you understand? Do I speak too fast or can you understand it just well? Right. So Romla said biocatalyst. Anything else? What do you understand about enzyme? Can I have one more? Come on, guys. What do you understand about enzyme? Basically, the answer is staring at you. Sedang dilihat jawapannya. Yeah, so I read it for you. So basically, enzyme is, you are right. So Romla will get one book. It is a biological catalyst. It's a biocatalyst that speed up the process of reaction, whether it's chemical or biochemical, it can speed it up. Number two, key important part, it is not being consumed during the reaction. And number three, typically, The catalyst is a protein. That is why we do some extraction of the protein, because catalysts are protein, except some of the RNA also have the protein characteristic. Okay, so you are covered into the definition. Now you ask yourself, how do we produce the industrial enzyme? I hope you have learned this before, so this will be like a revision. Now, the first point here, enzymes are usually produced from a microorganism that can be bacteria, fungi, or yeast, or it can also be produced from plant cell or animal cells. All right, so that's the first part, the source of the enzyme. The second part of it is how. How do you get this enzyme from the sources? We do fermentation. This is what we call the fermentation process, or we call this upstream processing, where you grow the cell and let the cell produce the enzyme with it. Okay, so you imagine first you got the sources, now you fermentate it in the reactor, what we call it bioreactor. And then after you have that, you are going to further recover the enzyme and purify it. So that is the downstream process. So if you can imagine, the critical part or the expensive part is at the recovery and purification, because you need to get the enzyme that you want. You got to select them from the broth in your bioreactor. Then after you purify them, and then you have to make sure they are safe. You do some quality control, quality check, and they abide with the rules and regulation. Yeah. And then you have it. You have the enzyme. Then you ask yourself the next question. So if I have the enzymes, what can the enzyme be used for? So I have listed for you, if you look here, there are about 8 industries, not limited to. This is what normally that we have. The first one is food and beverages. The second one is textile. Third one is biofuels. Fourth is detergent, where we wash our clothes or we wash our cars or wash our dishes. And the fifth industry is pharmaceutical industry. The sixth one is agriculture. The seventh one is pulp and paper industry. And I leave the last one, number 8, for a blank. We will discover after this what that is. So far, are you okay? Let's go to the next one. And how do I make this close? All right. Now, there are 17 of us, 15 of all of you. Well done. Welcome, everyone, that you managed to get here. I really hope my intention is for you not to just know about this, be inspired and think of what are the field of work, especially in this industrial enzyme, that you like to further work with, or maybe later in your life you want to involve in. So let me give you the example of first industry, which is the food and beverages. The enzyme that usually we use in the food and beverages, this is an example only. First one is amylase enzyme. I think quite famous amylase enzyme used in baking to break down starches into sugar and improve handling and texture of your dough, right? And we have lactase. Lactase, they use this enzyme to put in the milk or dairy products so that it break the lactose and it is suitable for lactose intolerant individual. I hope that you know what lactose intolerant individuals are. Those people cannot accept dairy product in their stomach, and when they consume that, they might have upset tummy. And we also have pectinase. Pectinase used in fruit juice processing to break down pectin, clarifying juice. And this is what I mentioned just now about the apple juice, where you want to have clear juice. And one of the way to get clear juice is to put pectinase in it. So how do we get all these enzyme? Remember the sources that I told you before? It could be driven from the microbes, such as bacteria, yeast, or a plant cell and animal cell. That's the first application. And the second application briefly is on the textile. In textile industry, they use cellulase. This is to make your fabric soften. You know, sometimes you have fabric very hard and sometimes you have fabric very soft. So it depends on what they use in their processes. One of the method to make it soft is using the cellulase. Second enzyme, they use catalase. This is to decompose hydrogen peroxide used in bleaching, reducing water and energy consumption. Um, Catalyst is there to promote the bleaching, to have the bleaching mechanism as well. So you don't have to use the hydrogen peroxide as much, and this is good for the environment. And I think you will like this, are you wearing jeans? The jeans type material. The industry use lacquers. They use lacquers to give the jeans or denims the finishing look, to create stone wash like faded color blue. And this can be used cases instead of the pumice stone. And the third industry that apply enzyme is biofuels. This is quite we say familiar. Cellulases. Cellulase, they break down the cellulose in the fiber, uh, giving access to this, consume it uh, for the bacteria to consume the fiber and get this fermentable sugar. We got lipase used in biodiesel production to catalyze the transesterification of fats and oil. And we got peroxidases. This one is to use lignin in biomass. So if you have the fiber, in order to get into the fiber, there is glue like lignin, and the peroxidase can break this up to get access to the fiber to release the fermentable sugar. Right. The fourth industry that use this is detergents. And I think it's become more and more famous now to put enzyme in the detergent, where if you see the advertisement, all you use just one scoop and you are managed to clean up either is the blood stain, food stain, fat-based stained, starch stained, or organic stain. So if you look at the type of enzyme here, is that the industry can add into it like protease, lipase, amylase, oxidases, depending on what they put or depending on what they are targeting, they can add all these enzyme. Interesting, right? The fifth enzyme is pharmaceutical. So we have penicillinase, break down penicillin and to use the production of B-lactam antibiotics. We can use protease used in the manufacture of peptide-based drugs, lipases. This is to assist the synthesis of chiral intermediates. Now, if you look back at all the enzymes that we have discussed, you have seen them multiple times, like the cellulase or amylase, protease. That means the same enzyme can be used cross industries. And then we have the sixth industry, which is the agriculture. And this is where they use these phytases enzyme and they add it into the animal feed to break down the phytic acid and to increase the phosphorus availability for the animal. cellulase. Again, yeah. Oh, bukan saya. Saya ingatkan ajak saya minum. Kalau ajak saya minum, ya saya sudah ada airnya. Terima kasih. Right. Okay. Then we have the cellulase and glucanases, and all this is actually increasing the nutritional value of the feed for your animals, so you yourself can eat a healthier uh, food, because you are what you eat. If you eat chicken that is eating good food, you have good chicken. And if you eat fish, that contain high mercury level, you will have the mercury level in yourself. So be careful of what you eat. And this is my part here, seventh industry, pulp and paper. This is also Bufina expertise. What we can use is a xylanase to improve the bleaching process by breaking down hemicellulose, reducing the need for chlorine-based chemicals. And we also use a lot of cellulase. This is to help removing the ink for recycled paper and improving the pulp drainage. And we also use lactase. This is for the lignin modification or breaking up the lignin to enhance the paper strength and to reduce the bleaching chemicals. Right, so that goes seventh, and you remember that we still have one more industry that I leave blank just now, and we also use. We have seen the pattern. There are more interest now being put into beauty and cosmetic for this industrial enzyme. So if I have listed here an example of about six use, the first one is exfoliation. Uh, how the industry use papain and bromelain. This is from papaya and pineapples to exfoliate the dead skin on you. And for skin whitening and brightening, they use tyrosinase inhibitors, and they use also lactoferrin found in milk. This is an enzyme that has whitening properties. That is why if you watch or you read old movies, all these what we call it, super rich people, they will take the milk bath to their skins because it is believed to also help out with the whitening of the skin. Anti-aging, collagenase, they add on collagenase inside, and superoxide dismutase. That is, all this you can get the resource from the microbes, the plant, or the animal, right? Moisturizing and hydration. If you buy products these days, you will see hyaluronic acid. Um, and they are using this hyaluronidase to modify the hyaluronic acid, and also lipase to break down the oils, especially on the lip product, so that it can reach your skin, because we eat a lot, so we have oil on our skin. By putting that lipase, it will help to break up that oils and penetrate more to your skin. And these youngsters these days with a lot of acne problems, this company put lactoperoxidase and lysosome to help reduce the acne by killing the acne microbes related quickly on your skin. And last but not least, there's also interest on using keratinase and protease in your hair care, where it helps to break down the keratin and helping the damage repair of your hair and promote the health growth product. So that's a little bit overview of industrial enzyme application, and more like a revision to you. And to be honest, in this field of microbial enzymes, so I have more than 10 years research in the field of microbial enzymes, because I told you the enzymes can be derived from microbes, from plants and from animals. So my research is basically on the microbial enzyme. And these are the research team that turns out curiosity into reality. So you can see here the familiar faces. This is Bu Shafina, and this is my PhD student, graduated, Dr. Ashuwila. And this is also my PhD student, Dr. Nadia. Maybe after this, uh, will become Dr. Sharfina. Yeah. And this is on our trip to Korea, I think with our grant. And we had good times, of course, but yeah, they have to do a lot of work. Even while waiting for the transportation or flight or whatever that is, they still have to do work and study and study and study. And until they find out, until they achieve the research objective, right? So if you look at if you type up Angzzas UTHM is the university I am serving currently, University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. What I want to bring up, these are some of the journals that have been published that shows all the work that we have done over these years. So for example, this journal by Kian Meng Tan, we call her Dr. Jojo. So these students of ours is doing some research using this superworm, or we call this superworm Zaphobus Morio 1, 2, 3, research by her. This worm has the ability to degrade plastic. So if you give plastic to this worm, they will actually consume it. And then what the research is about, going into the stomach, the gut line of the superworm to take out the bacteria that responsible for the degradation of the plastic. So this is one paper, one research by Dr. Jojo. And the second paper here is on fiber by Iza, Dr. Hafiz and the team. And this is on the application of fiber for soundproof, right? And so I have a fundamental research on finding what and who are responsible to degrade what. Then I have the application research on where it can goes to be applied. And you see this familiar name by Sharfina Mutia Sharifa. So she is studying on this oil palm residue using this bacteria, Bacillus cereus, extracted from this termite. Termite apa, Fina, bahasa anai-anai? Is this it?
Rayap.
Oh, rayap.
Yeah.
Pertama kali saya belajar. Rayap. Yeah. So, it's the same thing. This rayap or this termite has the ability to degrade the oil palm residue, and we are looking at this particular bacteria on the ability to degrade, right? One of it, and then more of it. These are also all the journals that has been published by Shafrina and the team as well. How she looks at that lignocellulose chemical composition and surface morphology analysis of this oil palm delignification using Bacillus cereus of this rayap. And I have another insight that I studied with my team. This Dr. Ashuwila studies how this apa ni called. This is what we call Rhynchophorus virginis, and in Malaysia we call it ulat godong. Yeah. What do you call it in Indonesia? Same? Ulat godong?
I'm not particularly sure about it.
Do you have this in your country where they
I
eat it?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ulat apa ya namanya itu? Maybe the students here know. If you see the picture, I think
Do
it's
you see the
famous,
picture?
but I forgot the name of it.
Do you know what it's called in Indonesia? No? yeah, this insect is very much um they live in the oil palm plantation in the trunk, and they eat on that, and it causes a nuisance as well for the farmer or the oil palm planter. But because they are very good at degrading that oil palm fiber, so we study them to see how do they do it. Maybe we can get the microbes from their stomach and check what is the best microbe that able to do that. I also have international student doing the termite study as well. Um, like this is another type of bacteria, Lindsay bacillus subspecies from the raya. Ulat sago, yes. Ulat sago, yes, that's the word, ulat sago. Right, so more work done, insect again, some applications, some superworm again. I also do this collaboration work with the dragon fruit to get this pectin out of it, and it become like a gel-like, and it's good new to be added into food. Okay, now over these years working and doing research, I have uh one, two, three, five intellectual property uh recorded. The very first one here is the method for producing Kogon grass pulp. This is the fiber from nama Kogon grass itu rumput, 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 rumput lah. Yeah. And this has been registered for the IP on how to get the pulp fiber. Then I also involved in this cosmeceutical product development. We have the cream formulation on how to get the stable cream, and that is under copyright. And we also, this is work by me and Fina as well, right? Fina, the anti-fly and antibacteria spray as natural insect repellent. As for trademarks, I have two trademarks. One is the Babylena for the cosmetic cream, wound healing cosmetic cream. And I also have these trademarks formulated by Dr. A's lab. This is we produce coffee instant, chocolate instant, as well as some chewable tablets. So all these actually derive from the natural resources, doing studies of research over the years. Okay, now why do I tell you all this? So you have known why is it so important, or why is it so interesting for you to learn about industrial enzyme, understand them, and then use them, apply them in many of the industry that is possible. But we have seen over the years it has been slow. So why is it so slow? There are many challenges actually exist in using this industrial enzyme. The first one is it is so expensive to get that particular enzyme. If you can see just now when I told you from the resource, you need to fermented them, put them in a bioreactor, and then the recovery. So not many industry are willing to buy or to use enzyme in their production because it is quite expensive, right? And then the second one is the enzyme stability. So some enzyme can be quite sensitive to the industrial condition, such as extreme pH and extreme temperature and the presence of inhibitor. So this has to be totally clear out before we can actually use the enzyme. And then the third one is process integration. So if you can imagine, if I have the pattern for the pulp and fiber using microbes, but the industry in Malaysia still has not have the technology, and they have to buy new technology to their current factory. And that process integration is expensive again for them and could be very complex to modify a lot of things, right? And the fourth reason why it's challenging is the variability of raw materials. Sometimes you have this color of raw material, and then sometimes you have that color, and this variability will make the enzyme performance slightly different as well. So the process consistency is doubtable. And the fifth one is about the enzyme activity. Accurate measurement of enzyme activity is quite complex. So we have to do a lot of study, a lot of research in order for us to know the exact optimization condition for the condition for your process. The sixth one is enzyme recycling and reusability. And enzyme is not being consumed in the process. But over time, you will lost some enzyme when you recycle them back because of their efficiency is declined. So we got to develop some processes like enzyme immobilization. If you like to go deeper into that, that is also a good field to be studied. And the seventh part is, or the seventh challenge that we have is market acceptance. Yep. And convince the industry to convert, to adopt this new method compared to traditional chemical method is a bit challenging because of the long-term cost that they have to do, or the immediate cost that they have to do, but you have to convince them that they are saving over the long term period. Last but not least, is the issue or the challenge with the regulatory and safety concern. And when you use living things like the microbes or the animals or the plants, there are very strict regulatory guidelines that you must follow to ensure it comply with the standard that they have put. So you have to always engage with the regulatory bodies in the early development of your enzyme product so that it is safe from toxicity, and it is good for the company in the long run as well. Okay, that's it for that part. And if you decided to go delve or to further study into this enzyme application, there are actually a number of potential field that you can look at. So the future for industrial enzyme is very promising because it is driven by the advancement in the biotechnology, a sustainability goal, and the need for more efficient industry. So the first part here that you can look into is the biotechnology and genetic engineering. This is like developing enzyme with enhanced properties such as stability, specificity, and activity. Uh, uh, CRISPR technology also actually one of the genome editing tools that is available to create optimized microbial um, enzyme. The second part is the field of sustainability and green chemistry, such as the biodegradable, where is it? Okay. The biodegradable products. You're developing enzymes that enable the production of biodegradable products that are environmental friendly. And the third one here is in the enhanced industrial application. For example, you can use multi-enzyme complex. Now, this is interesting part. Maybe I can, if I have time, I will share with you on how we use multiple microbes to create enzymes cocktail that give the better efficiency. right? And number 4 is process optimization and scale out on the immobilization technique, on the continuous process, as well as on the AI and automation. Yeah, so this falls under this process optimization. Interesting field. The fifth field is health and pharmaceutical. Maybe the therapeutic enzyme. You can develop enzyme for treating cancer, genetic disorder, which are still lack in the current industry. And food and agriculture field, like functional food, people are they have seen an increase in starvation. So if you could provide enzymes that enhance the nutritional value and the functional properties of the food products, that could be great. Bioinformatics and computational biology. You can also use enzyme discovery throughout the bioinformatics and computational biology. So this is about bioinformatics, data analysis, and whatnot. And last but not least, another important part is you can also look into global collaboration and regulation. So this is about developing and harmonizing the frameworks for everybody so that it's easy for you to produce the enzyme and applicable in the industry. So that is the enzyme application. And that's it. That's for the first part of this talk. And I told you that we're going to have quick quiz. Top 2. Ready? Tell me, how can you manufacture the industrial enzyme? Should I hear your voice, or let me stop sharing and see? Or should I call names? I think I would like to call names. I think I like to call on Lesta Irmanda. Lesta, are you here? Can I hear your voice? Soalannya, apa sumber-sumber? Am I talking right? Are we talking the same language? What is the sources of producing the enzyme? Lesta, are you there? So neither. No? If you do not want to switch on your mic, you can type up there, or anyone can type up your answer. What is the source of enzyme? Tak ada. Tanya Zakia lah. Where is Zakia?
I was about to answer. Doctor, so the question was about how to manufacture the enzyme, right?
And my question specifically is, what are the source of enzyme?
The source can be from the microorganisms, for example, like plants, animals, microorganisms from bacteria, yeast, fungi, like that. And
Yes,
can
you
get
got
them
that right. Well done.
Okay.
You got that right. I'm not sure what bacteria. I gave you 3 just now. Microbe. So it could be bacteria, yeast, fungi, and you can have from plant and as well as animal. So thank you, Zakia, for making it for menyahut cabaran. Yeah. Now, I am quickly going to share with you an example of what my student did before. Now she is already a doctor. How to share my screen again? Okay, share screen. Right. This research was conducted by Dr. Ashwila, and I don't know the problem in Indonesia, but in Malaysia we have a lot of waste from the oil palm tree. So this Dr. Ashwila is doing optimization on how to throw out the lignin, or we call it delignification, to get the fiber from this empty fruit bunch, right? And of course, that this is what we will be talking about. I'm not going to touch everything. So roughly it's something like that. Some of the problem statement, some of the objectives, that's the key, and how she done it and what she got from it. Right. So this is actually how we should approach our research. We should have some data supporting the problem that is there. So if you look here, paper consumption, right? 2020, it's about 400 million metric ton, but 2030 is going to increase to 461 metric ton. So there is demand for wood resources. So the demand for wood resources increase, the predicted climate change also increase because of the deforestation and whatnot. Now, nowadays, non-wood as alternative resources for the fiber is much more appealing. China and India, for example, they use non-wood resources. About 70% of the world non-wood pulp production comes from them. So this research by Dr. Ashu was using this EFB, empty fruit bunch, as the source of fiber. And in Malaysia, we generated about 22 to 23 million metric ton from 423 palm oil extraction in Malaysia. So if we can use all this, we can have a lot of fiber. Okay. Anyway, what is the challenge of pulp and paper industry? The challenge is you have your fiber, you have your leaves, or you have your trunk, or you have your empty fruit bunch. This is the fiber that we want to use, the cellulose, the semicellulose. But you have the lignin that hold them like a glue that make them stick. And we need the glue to be removed out so we can get access to the cellulose. So the conventional method, they use high chemical to remove that glue or lignin from the fiber, and that cause wear and tear of the equipment, and it used high electrical operation cost that goes down to the environmental issues such as water pollution and green gases. Now, if the second solution is using biopulping or fungi, where you put the fungi to grow at this material, the problem with that is the growth is sensitive. It use long period to let the fungi grow, and it is very unstable to make a scale up processes. So it's not feasible. Now, what this research proposed, what we propose is, why don't we use bacteria? Because bacteria is like a small factory and you can have millions of them. In that small factory, let them eat up the lignin, let them degrade the lignin and give us the fiber. So that was our research about. That is what we want to know. Now we have 4 bacteria that we have extracted before from this ulat sagu. We call them Klebsiella pneumonia, Serratia marcescens, Pseudomonas citronellolis, and Enterobacter oryzae. This is all from that ulat sagu, yeah, 2016 work. And then we use this and we can reduce the wood consumption, environmental issue, economical process, and we can promote greener technology. So this research, we want to identify of the 4 bacteria that we have, what is the best combination, synergistic bacteria combination to degrade the lignin. At the same time, Dr. Ashu was optimizing the process for the deglinification. And in the end, we want to produce something like this, the paper, right? Okay, and let us move. So this methodology has been, I think, conducted about 5 years. And from getting the bacteria to screening the bacteria, what they have, these are all the enzyme that came up from it, lactase, lignoperoxidase, and manganese peroxidase. And then she do the optimization process of the fermentation of the bioreactor. And then she evaluate the fiber that came up from the reaction. Then she do the handsheet. Handsheet is paper product. And then she evaluate the strength and whatnot. So let us go further into detail. This is how she grew that bacteria culture. They put like that, and then some optimization study, and then she get the fiber, and then we produce this paper. Okay. And she studied the monoculture system. That means one, single, and then the dual culture system. You couple them. And the triple culture system, you put 3 of them. Last but not least, all 4 together. So when she did that, this is her finding. Look at the box. The lignin degradation, that means the power of removing the lignin, was significantly vary. So if it's monoculture, we see that this bacteria, Enterobacter, has the highest, but it's just 35% of removal. And then we look down here, everything is not convincing, not very good to look at. Then we saw triple is more than double mono, which is 47%. But if you add all the bacteria together, you increase the degradation to about 62%. That means when they are together in the stomach, when they are together, you need all these together to be working synergistically. If you introduce one at a time, they might have different ability. So that what was she find out, to have the highest lignin degradation is to have all these culture together, and then she managed to get the highest lipase or lignin peroxidase produced, right? And she also managed to find all the work. She managed to find out the operation condition for the bioreactor to lose as much as the lignin. So, yeah, interesting finding, right? So what we have here. So if you look here, fungi, if we are comparing other work by other researcher, we got fungi and we've got bacteria, right? So we have this lignin lost for 2 days compared to the fungi 53% loss or 58% loss for 28 days. such a long time. So 28 and 2 days, this is a break record time for delignification, right? Interesting. And all that, and at the end of the day, she make the paper, and the paper has all these um, structure, and she has successfully producing the paper that has mechanical property, higher tensile index, burst index, and tear index. And well, we did recommend for industrial application of this enzyme for the lignin degrading activity. And what we are saying is this, although the result is good, but we cannot get the industry player people to buy our system because it is expensive for them to have the bioreactor created. And anyway, having said all that, I think the country or the world will be much more prepared after this, and especially in this enzyme industry field. And that's it. I think that's it from me. And you can imagine how interesting it is to study this sago worm to get all the bacteria extracted from the tummy and to grow the bacteria. And the bacteria is actually the workhorse. We call them nature workhorse to degrade all the waste that you have and producing a better product. So that's it from me, Dr. Fina. Dr. Fina, I call you Dr. Fina. Dah. So maybe after this, you can have your PhD ongoing. Okay, that's it from me, everyone. And thank you so much for your attention. Do you have any question for me? Malay also can. I think I can understand your bahasa.
Silakan kalau mau bertanya bisa pakai bahasa Indonesia. I think Dr. Angzzas only just now gave away 2 books. She said 5,
Mm,
right? So I think there's
mm.
another 3.
Yeah, if we cannot have 5, then we can just have 3.
Okay, siapa yang bertanya? Come on, anyone? Dalam bahasa Indonesia juga boleh. Can I see your faces? Dr. Angzzas wants to see you all. On cam sebentar dong. Diorang malu-malu dokter.
So, okay, can we have a final picture together before, if you don't have any question, I have to go as well. Um, you can extend your question to Bu Fina. Can I just have one picture untuk diambil sempena apa perkongsian ini? Mungkin nanti saya boleh ke Yunisa, Fina,
Ya, insya Allah.
insyaAllah.
Mobility, next mobility. We had
InsyaAllah.
15 students from UMSA last month on May. 15
Where?
from University Malaysia Pahang.
Oh,
Taufik dan
UMSA,
Abdullah.
UMP.
Yeah, UMSA.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Okay,
please open your camera. We can take
we
a
have
picture.
question from Ami. Ami izin bertanya, doktor, kesulitan apa yang sering doktor alami ketika melakukan penelitian enzim di bidang industri? Very good question. Um, Sepertinya bahasa kita sama tapi tak sama. Jadi kalau tak faham, tell me, I will try to speak in English. Because satunya kerana sumber enzim itu dari benda hidup kan, seperti mikrob, bakteria. Jadi bila kita nak bagi bakteria itu hidup, cabaran dia macam nak hidupkan orang hidup. Kena bagi makan betul, kena bagi temperature-nya betul, pH-nya betul. Kerana kalau tak betul, hari ni kita masuk dalam reaktor, bioreaktor, besoknya dia tak hidup. Uh, jadi satu cabaran adalah optimize kan kondisi kan keadaan untuk bakteria itu hidup. Itu yang pertamanya lah. Pertama yang kita kena kena buat cabarannya. Dan satu bakteria, katakan tadi macam Dr. Ashu, dia ada 4 bakteria dalam satu bioreaktor. Untuk pokok kelapa sawit tadi kan. Tapi kalau saya nak tukar daripada kelapa sawit ke katakan yang lain punya hasil buangan, mungkin tebu. Tebu apa, Fina? Ataupun pokok-pokok lain lah. Pokok-pokok lain. Jadi saya kena optimize semula. Jadi sebabkan enzim ini dia sangat spesifik, setiap kali kita tukar bahan yang dia nak bekerja tu, kita kena optimize semula. Because it's very sensitive. Itulah satunya ya. Ami, dia sangat sensitif. Dia macam nak besarkan anak, jaga baik-baik, hidup baik-baik, bagi makan, bagi minum. Kalau tak nanti dia nak matikan diri dia. Itu cabaran yang satulah. Lepas tu dia punya optimization kena tengok, ya. Dia punya optimization kena diadakan. Dan yang terakhir saya boleh katakan nanti enzimnya sikit. Sikit sangat. Bila kita dah buat-buat, dapat hujungnya sikit. Maka kita kena banyak buat. Jadi besar, kena besar. Bioreaktornya kena besar. Kawasannya kena besar untuk buatkan enzim itu. Ya, itulah dari saya. Terima kasih bertanya, Ami.
Thank you, Doktor.
You're welcome. So, boleh ambil gambar sekarang?
Okay, should we take a picture? Tolong dibuka kameranya. Yang perempuan langsung pakai apa? Hijabnya yang instan aja, pakai anduk juga bisa.
Pakai telekung pun boleh. Telekung apa, Fina? Anduk.
Rukuh
Pakai ruku pun boleh.
ataupun ya rukuh. Mukena. They call it to either rukuh ataupun mukena, dokter. Telekung tuh.
Mungkin lah. Oh, okay. Right. Apa yang ada sajalah, Fina.
Oh, ada yang tanya satu lagi, dokter.
Ada. Okay. Persoalannya.
How to manufacture enzyme, but if we don't have bioreactor.
How to manufacture enzyme if kita tak ada bioreactor? Ya, kalau mahu di industri, memang kena ada bioreactor. Jika tak ada bioreactor, itu tak jadi. Itu kalau kita kata apa? Fermentation ini kita boleh buat di rumah, itu untuk kecil punya, atau kita boleh buat di makmal, hanya dalam flask, tabung uji yang kita goyang-goyangkan begitu, kita bagi dia makanan. Itu
Conical
boleh.
flask.
Ya, the flask, conical flask. Tapi itu bukan untuk industrial enzyme, bukan besar, sikit saja. Jadi sebab tu sebelum kita buat yang besar, kita kena buat lab dulu yang conical flask itu. Sebab kita nak tahu dulu makanan dia apa dia suka, suhu dia apa, pH dia apa. Bila dah hidup segar di flask, baru kita buat di bioreaktor. Bioreaktor dia besar. Dia boleh 1 liter, 2 liter, 5 liter, sampailah ke lebih 100 liter. Jadi kalau sebutnya manufacture, memang kena ada bioreaktor. Kerana itu, tak banyak industri mahu invest awal-awal untuk beli bioreaktor itulah. Okay. Terima kasih Fadila bertanya. Baik. Okay, Fina. Nampak ke muka? Terang ke?
Nampak,
Cahaya
nampak.
enggak nampak?
Okay,
Okay.
anyone more who wants to open their camera? Please do. Ada yang lelaki ni, kalau lelaki biasanya senang je.
Ya, kenapa enggak mau buka dengan saya ni?
So carefully.
Pula Fina? Boleh saja.
Okay, okay. Ayo, 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 ayo. Count to 10. Ah. Zakia. Mana lagi nih? Yasinta.
Sorry, doctor, I couldn't open my camera right now. The connection is not stable. If I do so, sorry.
Okay, let's just take a picture, okay? Okay, 1 April. Muka separuh, turunin. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, one more. Satu lagi ya. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay.
Okay.